Hello. How are you?
Hi everyone. Um, I'm here with my sister,
Hi.
and we're going to record a podcast together.
Awesome. I'm excited.
And it's called Sissy and Sissy Animation.
Sissy and Sissy and animation.
uh, yeah,
I'm Sis,
and I'm Sis.
and we're the animation. This is gonna be so much fun.
Yeah. Um, so what we're going to do, and we've never done this before, so if this is bad, this is our first time doing it.
If it's bad, it's because it's me, right?
No, it's just, well, I'm not used to working with a script without a script, so
Like literally, this is without a script. We watched this movie.
yeah, what we're going to do in this podcast is we watched a movie and we're going to talk about it and just give an overview of everything that happened.
And I'm telling you right now, you really need a drink if you ever watch this movie because I tell you, it was a hard one to watch. I'm just okay.
If you're a fan of animation, you've probably heard of this company. It's Dingo Pictures. They have, it's an Australian name, but it's a German based company. And they have a raccoon, an American animal, as their mascot. And for some reason, it jumps like a king.
Wait for just a minute. They have a raccoon.
Yes, the raccoon is their mascot.
It's called Dingo.
Yes.
They're based out of Australia.
Germany.
Oh, Germany. But their name is Dingo.
Yes.
But their mascot is a raccoon.
Yes.
How screwed up is that? I mean, like totally screwed up, right?
And they made it jump like a kangaroo.
Okay. Why didn't they just use a kangaroo?
I don't know.
Well, that could be a good question to send in.
Well, we can't because they're debunked.
Oh, okay. I guess we can't then. Okay.
But if you haven't heard of Dingo, basically they're a rip-off company. They make movies that are similar to popular movies like Disney stuff, and they just copy characters and stuff, but they do it really lazily, so everything's bad and horrible.
It's very, very low budget.
Mhm.
I mean, this is worse than B movies. I mean, it's like very, 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 very. The lowest you can go below that. It's bad. They didn't spend no money on it at all.
And today we're talking about their version of the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Which is a great movie.
Yeah.
And a great book.
Yeah, it is. What's weird is it has something more closer to the book than what the Disney movie did. In both the book and the Dingo version, Quasimodo is deaf, but in the Disney version, he can hear.
I mean, let me throw something in there right real quick. He loved playing with his bells. He did that quite a bit, actually. Okay, go
But, okay. But like every version of this movie, it starts with Quasimodo as a baby.
And he's so.
Well, everyone claims that he's ugly, but everyone in this movie looks ugly.
And oh my gosh, every one of them look ugly, and they all look the same. Like over the years, they never changed. They never even changed clothes.
Like, there's a narrator in this movie. He only says a few stuff, but he said that 20 years passed after Quasimodo was a baby, And he's the only one that ages at all.
Right.
Everyone stays the same age.
Yeah, it's just like kind of
But anyway, like, the nuns discover baby Quasimodo, and they're like, "Oh, he's ugly. We should burn him. Yes, let's burn him in a baby fire."
How horrible is that, right?
Oh, also, I'm sorry if you guys hear chirping. Those are my parakeets, and I can't do anything about them.
That's perfectly fine. But let's get back to this baby. They're wanting to burn this baby. How pitiful is that?
Yeah, I don't really think that nuns, of all people, should be talking about this kind of stuff.
Right? Yeah, I think they're supposed to take babies in and not,
Set them on fire.
Right. Oh Lord, it just kind of makes you wonder how the people of these people really was.
And also, one of the nuns is also just. They used the model for one of the nuns as just a random character with different clothes. It's really lazy. But as soon as Claude Frollo sees the baby, he's like, "Oh yes, I am going to raise this baby and see if I can teach it to think and speak." But like, we don't know if there's anything actually wrong with the baby, so why would you assume that it can't speak or think or anything? And one of the nuns says that he's gonna use the baby for an experiment or something.
Okay, first of all, they're worried that they're going to make him, or he's going to turn him into, like an animal and make him do experiments with them and make him do bad things. But it's okay for the nuns to take the baby and burn it. Is that not bad?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all.
Okay.
But Quasimodo, so the guy raised Quasi, and 20 years later, Quasimodo's an adult, and everyone looks the same. And I guess he's not actually forced to be locked in the bell tower because he was just walking around in front of everyone, but they were all afraid of him. But he is in the bell tower most of the time, and he's all alone. And unlike the Disney movie, he didn't have those annoying gargoyles to talk to. So he just talks to the bells, and
he likes playing with the bells.
Yes, you've mentioned that.
Which I just think it's funny. I mean, a guy playing with his bells.
Yes, everyone gets that.
Everybody gets that? Okay.
And he gives them women's names, which is kind of weird. But he decides to sneak out of the tower on Fool's Day, which I guess is a day where everyone just picks a random person to be Pope Fools, and then they just make fun of them all day. I mean, this is the same town where the nuns wanted to make a baby fire, so that's not really surprising. But they see Quasi is there, but at first they don't know it's him because they can't see his body. And when they do find out that it's Quasimodo, they're all afraid of him. And on that same day, Esmeralda the nun, not nun, the gypsy, Esmeralda the gypsy came into town, and she had a goat named Jolly. And this goat could tell time, but like it couldn't speak. It just went like Yeah, they would ask it what time it was, and if it was like 3 o'clock, exactly. And but like everyone was still amazed by it for some reason. And she was like, "Okay, now how does our Pope sound?" And he just went, "Bah," and everyone thought that was the funniest thing ever, and they just kept laughing. But
And they just kept laughing. Through a whole episode, they just kept on laughing.
episode.
During the episode, or during the movie, they just kept on laughing.
I have no idea why they thought that was funny. I guess nothing happens in Paris.
Besides setting bags on fire, making fun of people. So, I guess that's the most excitement they have is the talking ghost.
That doesn't actually talk.
It's bad.
And sorry about that. If you guys can hear that, I have a clock in my room that makes noises. Mom made me put it in here. Okay, so after the goat like imitates the Pope, the only one who's actually offended by it is Claude Frollo, of course. I have no idea why he thinks it's offensive or why anyone thinks anything about it. It's just a goat making a noise. But he said that Esmeralda is hotter than the Bible allows. That makes no sense.
Unless he is saying, she's hotter than hell, and he just didn't want to say hell.
Well, Dingo Pictures isn't afraid of cursing.
Oh, okay.
There are several movies where they say bunch of different swear words.
So that wasn't it. Okay.
No. He was just being weird and making no sense. I can't remember which part happens first, or why it happens, but Quasimodo, gets whipped in front of everyone in town. I think it's because he ruined their Fool's Day or something.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was it.
And, he says, like, well, he doesn't say anything. Frollo says that he has to be punished, and the judge decides that, Quasimodo should be whipped. So he is taken to the middle of town, and they whip him, and he asks for water. Esmeralda's the only one to give him water, so that's why he falls in love with her. And because she's pretty.
I was just saying earlier that this show or this story actually reminds me of D&D and King Kong. But that's a different story, so we can't talk about that.
Like,
he falls in love with her because she's the only one that seemed like she cared about.
in, there's also a poet named Pierre, and he, of course, falls in love with Esmeralda too.
Which is totally crazy.
Yeah, the thing about Pierre is he looks exactly like Esmeralda. Literally, the only difference is their clothes, and Pierre has a beard and mustache.
They literally look like they're
Mhm.
twins.
And Pierre doesn't know Esmeralda. He just fell in love with her because he's physically attracted to her. So that's, yeah, so that's gross. He's only attracted to her because she looks like him, I guess. But again, this is just Dingo being lazy. It just makes no sense why they would use the same character for the love interest.
They literally could have done so much more different, just different things with this really, they did go out on that.
No, they didn't. Like, I'm guessing all they did was draw Esmeralda and then trace over that and then just give it a mustache and beard to make Pierre. But anyway, like, there's this really weird moment where Pierre is just randomly walking.
Randomly walk.
Like, this is after the. I think this is after the whipping. Like, we didn't take notes about this, the whipping part, so it's kind of hard to remember. But, he starts walking and he sees this bum, and this guy only has one leg, and he asks Pierre for money. He doesn't have any, and for some reason the bum starts chasing him, but like he actually has two legs. He was just standing in a way where one leg was bent so that you could only see it from the knee. And Pierre says like, "I can't believe it. I'm being chased by a two-legged man that's supposed to have one leg."
Oh my god, he grew a leg.
Yeah, basically. But they end up in the Court of Miracles, which is this basically hobo village. It's where all the bums in town gather. And it is a real place that did exist in Paris back then.
In real life?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
And, I don't know if it actually had these very weird rules, though. This guy, who I guess was the king bum, said, like, you can't leave the Court of Miracles, but only hobos and bums and thieves can live here. So,
sounds like prison to me.
Yeah, and he said, like, if you're not one of us, then you have to die. So to prove you're a bum like us, you have to steal money out of this mannequin's pocket. And the mannequin was covered in bells. And if just one of the bells rings, he would be executed. And he failed this test, and instead of killing him right away, they're like, hold it. We forgot about this one rule where all of the women in the Court of Miracles get to look you over, and if they want to keep you, then they can, and if no one wants you, then you die. And all of the women reject him, but Esmeralda, I guess she lives there too. So she just. Well, all the bums know her, so I assume she does. But, she just so happens to show up right when they're gonna kill her, and she's like, yeah, okay, you can be my husband or whatever, I don't care. Like, she didn't care about him at all, she just did this because she didn't want him to die and she pitied him. But he kinda took it like, hey, I actually have feelings for you and stuff. Also, the hobo king or whatever was basically like, alright, he's your man for 4 years. That seems like a very random number to me. What happens after the 4 years are up?
He didn't explain that. And a hobo king. I mean, okay.
Well, they don't really call him that, but he's the one that does all the talking, so
He's like the leader.
I assume so.
Yeah.
He's also laying down all the time, so either he's just super lazy or he physically can't move. But after this, he's like Pierre was like, "Okay, well, I can help you uh earn money." Like Esmeralda always sings and dances and her goat does stuff. And he's like, "I could write poetry to help you get money, like see Esmeralda and her happy goat. Give us money or I'll go for your throat." That's something he legitimately said. I didn't make that up. But while he was after all this happened, Quasimodo was just happily playing with
His bells.
yes. He was just ringing the bells and
I gotta put something in there. He loved playing with the bells because he loved the vibration.
yes, we get it.
Yes, I just think that's so funny. Okay, go ahead.
Mhm. Anyway, he legitimately told his bells not to be mad at him for going to see Esmeralda.
First of all, if those bells actually spoke to him and said, we're pissed off at you because you're going to go see another woman, I would not have nothing else to do with it.
Well, like in the original Disney version of the Hunchback, I don't know why I said original, but in the Disney version, there are these gargoyles, and they don't really say if the gargoyles are actually alive or not. Like,
Another clock is going off.
and I'm a Lucy clock.
Oh my lord.
But they don't actually say if the gargoyles are alive because, from what I remember, they never like talk to anybody or move around anybody except for Quasimodo. So it could be they're alive, it could be they're just talking to him in his head. And it kind of seems like that might be what they're going for with the bells. But there's not a scene where like the bells suddenly grow mouths and start talking to him. It could just be he's crazy.
Well, I would be kind of crazy too if I had to live up in the bell tower all those years.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so yeah, I can see him being a little crazy.
Yeah. But he goes to see her sing and dance again, and
He was playing with his bells.
and Esmeralda goes to Frollo goes to the judge, who is voiced by a woman.
Oh my gosh, yeah. This looks like an old man. You know, of course, back then they had the long hair and
The powdered wig.
yeah, the wig. And it's supposed to be a man, and it's a woman's voice.
Kinda sounds like a kid.
Yeah.
And they put a lot of detail into the wig for some reason, so it just looked
Everything
weird.
they put it in the wig.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, really?
I don't know why they did that.
Yeah, it's completely crazy. Let's spend all our money on this wig.
But Frollo convinces the judge he convinces her that Esmeralda is evil and that Jolly the goat is the devil, even though he doesn't actually speak. So Esmeralda and Jolly are put on trial, and they legitimately question the goat. Like, they make him count and do his impression of the Pope again. I'm pretty sure Dingo just did this because they couldn't think of anything to fill the time. and um, they decide that Esmeralda and the goat are guilty. I guess it doesn't matter that Pierre is now married to Esmeralda. They don't do anything like that, or with that, like.
They just leave it hanging. Like, you don't know one way or the other if they're together, if they're not together, if they're going to kill them, if he's going to live with, it doesn't go there.
Yeah. But there's this very weird moment where Esmeralda and the goat are on this big platter thingy being carried through town. And Quasimodo, he of course is nearby. And it just cuts from Esmeralda being on the platter to Quasimodo holding her. We don't get to.
We don't know what happened to the people carrying her. It's literally they cut out that whole part.
Yeah. We don't get to see what happens in between her being carried there and Quasimodo grabbing her. And they don't show what happens to the goat. He just shows up at the bell tower a few minutes later.
I guess he jumped off the platter.
I guess so, but nobody reacted when he grabbed her. Like, they didn't try to fight him off or anything.
Right. It was just like totally, that part was so weird.
But he takes her to the tower, and for some reason he gives her a whistle. And even though he's deaf, he's like, if you blow this whistle, I'll be able to hear it and come for you.
So we're like, is it a dog whistle? Like one of those dog whistles that you can't hear, but the dogs can?
Yeah, are they implying that deaf people can hear just on a much higher frequency?
Yeah, I mean, seriously, if anybody is out there listening to this, please let us know. I'm really curious about that.
Yeah, like, what's going on? And, like, also, Frollo comes in and, like, threatens Quasi, and Quasi threatens him, and then Frollo just walks away.
No showdown, no nothing.
It was just really weird how they did that. Like, why even have that moment in there if nothing happens? Oh, we completely forgot to mention the old lady.
Oh, yeah.
There is this random woman who she just spends her day shouting at people from her window. Yeah. They said that her child was taken from her by gypsies. And after that she was just so sad that she stopped leaving her house and just shouts from the window. But I guess everyone in town knows about this because Pierre explained it to Esmeralda. And earlier in the movie, when Esmeralda first meets Pierre, he says that she has a necklace and it's the only thing she has of her family, but she never lets anyone see it or else it will lose her power. Its power. It was just a very weird moment.
And it never did say anything else about that, did it?
No.
It was just, they just threw that in there like it was this magic locket, but they never say anything about it.
Yeah, and we never get to see the locket, so
yeah, they never showed it.
It sounds like she's just making that up for no reason.
Right.
But after Frollo leaves the tower, he's like, okay, well, I need to get rid of Esmeralda, even if no one will help me. And Pierre, during all of this, I guess he just ran somewhere else and doesn't really know about what's going on. He goes back to the Court of Miracles and gets all of the bums to go to the bell tower. I think Pierre assumes that Frollo kidnapped her and took her to the tower. I don't even know if Pierre and Quasi even meet in this movie. I can't remember.
I don't either. I never thought about that. I don't think they did.
Well, I guess they do, but I can't remember when because I just remembered that Pierre said, Quasimodo, it's me, your friend, Pierre.
Oh, yeah, I remember that part.
But I don't remember them actually meeting. But it has been like a few months since we watched this movie, so who knows. Anyway, Pierre tells them to like go storm the tower so that they can all grab Esmeralda and move to another town. And when they're there, Quasimodo, he has never met these bums before, so he just assumes they're bad people trying to steal Esmeralda from him. So he is standing on the top of the bell tower and just starts throwing big cement bricks down at all the hobos. Surprisingly, he doesn't hit one. He either has really bad aim or he was just trying to scare them. But, while Quasimodo is distracted, Esmeralda gets kidnapped by, well, no, she tries to leave, but then her and the goat get kidnapped. No, wait, the goat doesn't go with her. She just, I guess, leaves him. And Frollo kidnaps her and is going to execute her in the middle of town because that's where the guillotine is, I guess. And while he's taking her there, he suddenly gets called away for something, but they never explain why he has to leave. He just walks off screen, but before that, he's like, hey, random person I've never met, would you mind watching this prisoner for me?
Like, okay, I'm going to go to a complete stranger and say, hey, can you do this job for me? Just, can you watch this prisoner? Seriously, in your right mind, what would you say?
Yeah, I don't think many people would want to do that. But this woman happened to be the random lady that screamed at people. And, she just,
I wonder what the hell she screamed.
I guess she said, get away from me, you gypsy.
I hate you. Get away from me.
But,
I don't know you, but I hate you. Get away.
That's my purse. I don't know you.
That's my purse. That's my purse. I don't know you.
But,
and if you're a King of the Hill fan, you will know what that
means. But, anyway, the woman, she, for no reason, she just, recounts her backstory of her missing daughter, and she takes a baby shoe out of her bra, and she's like, this shoe is all I have left of my daughter. And Esmeralda was freaking out and was like, oh man, you have that shoe too? I have the exact same one.
I have it in my bra too. I carry it everywhere with me.
So I guess they were like Yeah, let's change this necklace into a shoe because then the lady can have a matching one.
And also, one boob is probably bigger than the other because there's a friggin' baby shoe in it for all these years.
But I assume they were like, let's make the old lady have a matching shoe so we can
Get her the same.
have them realize that they're mother and daughter.
Right.
But then for some reason they just decide to leave in all that stupid stuff about the magic locket.
Right.
But the woman was like, "Oh my gosh, you're my daughter. I can't let them hurt you. But if I let you go, they'll probably punish me. Oh well, I'm old anyway. I'll probably die soon. Who cares if they punish
She lost her daughter. She's just reunited with her daughter. And she's like, oh well, I'm about to die. See you soon.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they say.
Yeah, I mean, that's so crazy. This woman has carried her shoe in her bra for all these years.
And just yells at people about her daughter.
Yeah. And now she's just like, okay, well, they're going to kill me, so we got to go, bye.
Yeah. Like, at least Esmeralda offers to, like, bring her mom with her, but her mom's like, nah, I'm okay. I don't feel like traveling. I'm just gonna sit here and die.
I'm just gonna sit here and die.
Yeah. And then, sorry, I got distracted by my dog for a second. But, anyway, they just, like, Esmeralda leaves. And as soon as she leaves, Frollo comes back. Like, he could literally just walk after her, but he doesn't bother. He's just like, what? Where is my prisoner?
He walked right past her. Really?
Yeah. Yeah, and he just asked where his prisoner was, and the old lady's like, oh, she put up a big fight. She bit me, and I had to let her go.
Okay, first of all, when you say, oh, she bit me, the first thing I think of is her getting down on all fours and gnawing on her leg, like a dog.
Yeah.
Like a rabid dog.
Yeah. But I assume she meant wrist because she was holding her by a rope.
Yeah.
But Frollo's probably too stupid to check for bite marks.
Well, he was seriously, he was too stupid to notice Esmeralda walking right past him.
Yeah. And instead of trying to go after her, he's just like, well, my prisoner's gone. I guess I'm just gonna go home now.
Right.
So he goes back to the tower, and Quasimodo's there, and he tries to explain to him that Esmeralda's gone, but of course, since he's deaf, he doesn't know what's happening. So I don't know why he even bothers trying to explain anyway. But I also forgot to mention this whistle. There was this. No, wait, I did talk about it. And, like, the goat, Jolly, he grabbed the whistle before Esmeralda left. And he started blowing in it. And for some reason, Quasimodo couldn't tell that the goat was blowing in the whistle, even though he could see that Esmeralda wasn't using it. But he assumed she was the one blowing in it.
But it was Jolly.
And they don't show Jolly after that moment.
He could have been, that night's supper or something that we don't know.
But, Quasimodo assumes that Esmeralda died. So he's furious and he grabs Frollo and just throws him off the side of the tower. And then, what?
Splat.
Yeah. And then it cuts to Quasi in jail. And, a guard gives Quasimodo the whistle that he gave Esmeralda. So she sent it to him so that she would know he's still alive. Now, we never find out what happened to poor Quasimodo. They never explain if he ever got free, if he just stayed in prison forever, or if he died there. But the narrator does tell us that Esmeralda and Pierre went back for the goat, and they all left town together because there was nothing left for them in Paris, even though they both knew Quasimodo was still alive.
I just don't know what to say on that. It's just like, it was just crazy.
Yeah, but it's better than in the book where both Quasimodo and Esmeralda died.
Yeah, but still, we don't know if Ozzy. We don't know if Ozzy died in this. We don't know if he died in this. I wish they would have said that, one way or the other.
Yeah.
They could have said, well, he rotted in prison.
Yeah, I assume that is what happened to him. And since he's the only one that ages in the movie, he probably turned into an old man and everyone else stayed the same. But yeah, that's it. That's how it ends, with Quasi in jail and his only friends forgetting about him.
Yeah, because that sucks. Completely sucks.
And we don't find out what happens to Esmeralda's mom either.
Yeah, we don't know if they took her and killed her or if she lived out her life.
Or maybe she's in the cell right next to Quasimodo.
Maybe they're in the same cell. Who knows? So, what are your thoughts about this? Did you like this at all?
Well, it was very fun to watch it with you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. But I would not watch it by myself unless I was making a video for it. It was just so stupid. There were so many plot holes, and the art looked just awful. Like, it seems like they did this in like an hour.
Right.
Like the entire thing.
Yeah, they took no time with it. I personally think that I had fun watching it with you and everything, and I can't wait to do another one with you. If I had to watch this by myself, I would have to drink. Seriously, I would have to drink. Because that's the only way that I could get through it. I would go to sleep.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of fun doing this with you.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun too, and I hope you guys that are listening to it liked this.
Would I suggest you actually watching it? You can if you want to. I won't watch it again. So this is a thumbs down for me. But I absolutely love doing this.
Yes, this was very fun, and we are going to make more of these podcasts, whether you guys want us to or not.
Right. So we hope that you stay tuned and listen and have fun with us. Give us some feedback on this.
And please like and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification button. And thank you all for listening.
And this is Sis and Sissy Animation.